Hello comrades and welcome back to Steve on Steve Plays China Mao's Legacy. Now the game is finally out. The day we've all been waiting for has finally come and we can all finally enjoy this game in its released form. And they've already updated it several times, which is cool. Lots of new features. They've added a new tutorial right up here, which if you click it on here, it'll show you an actual tutorial, which is cool. But that's not what we'll be doing. If you want a good tutorial, I suggest you check out Political Simulators Unite channel. He made an excellent tutorial video on this game and just kind of a review thing. I will link it in the description below, make sure to go check that out. Also, before we begin, I just hit 500 subscribers very recently, so I'm doing a bit of a cheeky little giveaway. And it's quite a big giveaway. There's going to be a copy of this game, China Mao's Legacy, and also there'll be a Humble Bundle account with some stuff on it, so hopefully that will be cool. To join in the competition, there's a link in the description. It's Gleam, I'm sure you've done it. And yeah, it'll be for a few days. I think 3 or 4 days the competition will last. And yeah, if you win, then you'll get this game and some other stuff, which is great. So hopefully you guys go check that out. So without any more of that, let's get right into this video. I'll be playing a bit of a, attempt at a reformist thing. My previous gameplay things, which you can check out, there's a playlist, was trying to follow the kind of Maoist thing, and I will do that again in a different series. But now that the game is actually finally out, I'm going to try to do a reformist thing. So obviously let's have a look at all of our stuff before we begin. So yes, our political situation isn't very great. We want to go reformers, and they're a tiny minority. So we're going to support the reformers, and obviously in all of the events we'll be supporting Deng Xiaoping and all those people. Obviously we'll have to suppress the gang of 4. Yes, let's cut our envelopes to 2, and then we'll cut it down further. Usually I do it to 0, but I feel like that fucks some things up. So let's go to 2 just to start, and we'll put some money into state mechanism, obviously, because that's how you get rid of corruption. If you didn't know, you fund state mechanism and Ministry of State Security. This is all good. Yeah, there's another one thing here called international assistance, but they merged that with diplomatic missions, which I think is cool. It simplifies the mechanics, and it doesn't simplify the mechanics, it just makes them more accessible. Let's put some funding into science, because science is very important. And we'll leave it at that because we're going to have to spend some money soon. On science, we're going to try to industrialize quickly, so we're going to focus on improved conveyor production, trying to rebuild our industry after the Great Leap Forward. Yeah, we have a bunch of negative debuffs. We have the aftermath of the Great Leap Forward. Agriculture does not rise above 70, so that's pretty terrible. Enlai's Legacy, Zhu Enlai's Legacy emphasizes reformists and liberals. Well, that's great, that's what we'll be doing. Bastion of Maoism, that's pretty good. Except it makes America and the Soviet Union hate us. Cultural Revolution gives us some money, some agents, and if he dies, it'll give us liberalization and minus standard of living. Inefficient industry is just our industry's rubbish. It can't rise above 50, and it actually gets knocked down half a point every 2 weeks. So we really need to focus on revamping and gearing our industry towards actually working. So yes, here we'll obviously, all these left radicals aren't very good for us. We're going to want to promote people like our favorite Deng Xiaoping down here. And yeah, let's get right into it. Let's pause and see what happens. Event 5, no. Congratulations on your appointment to the post of Premier of State, Comrade Hua Guofeng. As you know, your predecessor was Zhu Enlai, who gained popularity and respect among the people at home and abroad for his honesty and administrative talents. However, he was also an active promoter of economic reforms and promoted reformers in the party, such as his protege Deng Xiaoping. For these reasons, the death of Zhu in January 76 caused great grief, which dissatisfied Mao. He created a decree, the Campaign of 5 No's, not to wear mourning bands, not to make wreaths, not to make memorials, not to hold memorial ceremonies, and not to hang photos of Zhu Enlai, which has not caused anything except discontent. So, we'll either follow to strict execution, which we won't because Mao will be dead in a few months, gently sabotage the campaign, or criticize Zhu. We'll obviously gently sabotage it. We try to mitigate the effects of the campaign. Constant propaganda aimed at degrading Zhu and bans and open commemoration caused widespread discontent. However, thanks to your efforts to sabotage the campaign, wow, I can't speak at all, this content does not go beyond reasonable limits. Great. That is good. Who can we start making deals with already? We can support stuff in India eventually, although the main kind of thing is that there will be a war with Vietnam eventually, which we can either avoid or go for, and if you go for it, it's a bad situation, but you can support them and enter into economic union. So hopefully, kind of the main goal of this campaign is to liberalize the economy, not go full market economy, but kind of, Stamo cap and that kind of thing. Socialism with Chinese characteristics, because that's a thing, right? And then form our own economic bloc, hopefully, and invite a bunch of people into it. That should be good. Okay. Criticize Deng and fight with the right. The death of Zhou Enlai seriously affected the position of his protege Deng Xiaoping, who was left without the patronage of the former prime minister. He is now under constant attack by the radicals, headed by Mao Zedong's wife, Jiang Xing. And I'm probably butchering all these pronunciations. With the permissions of Mao Zedong and her supporters, they managed to launch a campaign, criticize Deng and fight with the right. Yeah. No, stand up for Xiaoping. We're gonna support my dude, Deng. In the media controlled by Jiang Xing's group, active persecution of Deng Xiaoping and his ideas began. You, however, stood up for him, claiming that Xiaoping made mistakes, but recognized him for the contribution to the development of China. This caused discontent among the top of the party, but it appealed to the people. Right. Great. That should be good for us. How are things going? Standards of living are low, liberalization of minds is low, we need to keep all of those things low. Also, if you don't know the kind of economy and all the events, they take over every fortnight, every 2 weeks, except instead of every month, which makes sense given that the actual time span of the game is fairly short, so that makes sense. Yeah, money is very bad right now. We're making no money at all. We need to focus on industrialization. Our industry is at a terrible level. It's so low that there are many countries that just will flat out refuse to trade with us. So we're going to want to send some money to Gaddafi. He needs 5 million. That's crazy. That's so much more than in Nostalgia. But then we'll be able to trade with him, which is good. There'll be a bunch of events in Southeast Asia, which we'll hopefully be able to twist to our favor and grow in influence. Agent networks will be very important. We're going to want to fund the MSS so we can have a lot of agent networks so we can fight party conspiracies. Elections in Thailand, there we go. After the fall of the military junta in junta? I think it's junta. And the transfer of power to the civilian government, Thailand entered a period of chaotic democracy. The victories of the communist forces throughout Indochina contributed to the growth of leftist sentiments led by the Maoist Communist Party of Thailand, which is engaged in both partisan and legal activities. They are opposed by the right-wing military, landowners, and other royalists, which often leads to clashes. Under these conditions, against the backdrop of the outbreak of the crisis of Thai economy, the Democratic Prime Minister Kukrit Pramoei is forced to hold early elections. Maybe this is our chance to lure away Thailand. Alright, to hell with the elections, it is better to send CPT more weapons, or support them and create a coalition with the left. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do like a softer approach, a less militant, a less Maoist, effectively, approach. Hopefully that works. We managed to provide substantial support for the CPT and to achieve an alliance with various moderately left-wing activists and some warming of relations with the Social Action Party and the Democratic Party in exchange for the termination of partisan attacks on military bases. The election campaign of '76 was accompanied by bloody street clashes. As a result, the Premier Social Action Party received the largest number of votes, which had to form a coalition with the Democratic Party and the CPT. Royalists and the government and officers are unhappy with the strengthening of the left. The situation is heating up. Well, that's good. Hopefully Thailand will eventually flip. So what do we need to support the communists? We need 2 million in budget and at least 4 agent networks. Okay, that could definitely be done eventually. And again, Zhou Enlai. In March '76, an article was published in the Shanghai newspaper When You Bow, in which the late Zhou Enlai was counted among the capitalist roaders, supporters of the capitalist path. The material appeared at the direction of the head of the Shanghai Party organization, Jiang Xinchao? Okay, I can't do these names. Closest associate. Jiang Xing's closest associate. The article also sharply criticizes both Deng Xiaoping and his reform ideas. That's not very good. We need to withdraw that shit. for a bid publishing. We need to support our boy Deng. Okay, so you see the green is already growing. That's really good. Hopefully before the end of the year we'll be able to make some serious changes to our government and the way our country functions. Tiananmen incident. So, the numerous attempts by the CCP to describe the late Junlai have caused only discontent. Basically, we can either just disperse them or basically siege them, which is what we'll do. At 6:30 in the evening, Wu Dei through the loudspeakers called on the crowd to disperse. Many left, but about 1,000 remained. At night, subunits of the city police and troops of the Beijing garrison were introduced into the square, cordoning off the demonstrators. After the cordoning at night, some of the protesters began to disperse, some tried to break through, but were arrested. Those who remained, the police without any problems ousted and arrested. The protest was suppressed with a minimal force. Like, this seems like such a good way to actually deal with these kind of situations, like instead of just smashing it with tanks and water cannons, just kind of cordon off the area and siege it. That's amazing. Not like promoting that, it seems like an incredible way of dealing with that kind of situation. I hadn't heard of it before, anyway. So, we can have enough... Yeah, money is really poor. And we have corruption, but we're fighting corruption by increasing state mechanisms. We need to increase the state mechanism as much as we can. Also, debt is really bad. We have a lot of problems with our economy, and hopefully our science will... Yeah, our science is progressing very slowly. We need to increase science funding by miles. By the way, these videos are going to be a bit longer than usual. They're going to be about the 15 to 20 minute mark, more or less. Just because I feel like this game is so rich in content that's basically necessary. Alright, our economy is doing a lot better. We need to... Well, it's not doing a lot better. It's doing a bit better. It's gearing up. We need to fund science. We need to fund Ministry of State Security and State Mechanism. Perfect. Let's keep cracking down on corruption. What's this? The Tangshan earthquake. Oof. An 8.2 earthquake on the Richter scale occurred in the city of Tangshan, Hebei province. The destruction, 200 to 600,000 people died. That's like, I just don't understand how that's possible. That's insane to me, those kind of numbers, just dying. So yeah, we don't have any funds for that, and we will request foreign humanitarian assistance, which makes the party hate us. But, well, yeah, there we go. There's a conspiracy against us, but the party will be changing a lot. Mao Zedong is still alive, but he'll die very quickly. Oh my god, he's 83. I didn't realize he was 83 when he died. That's crazy. He should die within the next month, right? There we go. Told you. A terrible thing has happened. After 2 transferred heart attacks, what does that mean? A transferred heart attack. On September 9th, at 0 hours 10 minutes in the 83rd year of life, the great leader and teacher of the Chinese people, Chairman Mao Zedong, passed away. As long as all the people... God, it's a fucking dog. Excuse me. Chairman Mao is dead, basically. We need to convene the funeral commission and decide how we're going to conduct the chairman in his last journey. So, cremate Mao according to his wishes and build a memorial. Build a mausoleum or let the funeral commission decide. Yeah, we don't want to build a memorial. I mean, we don't want to build a mausoleum. We don't want to kind of continue Mao's cult of personality. We need to try to build our own direction. So we'll cremate him according to his wishes, and then we move on. So yeah, we need to fund our Ministry of State Security, our army as well. And now we're out of money, aren't we? Conspiracy, there we go. According to recently received information, several senior party members who are dissatisfied with your rule have agreed to remove you at the next Congress of the Central Committee. We have to urgently do something if we do not want a repeat of the fate of the revisionist Khrushchev in '68. We do not. So, okay, there you go. If you have high army and high agent networks, you can call on either conspirators to be arrested with your state security or your officers to help you out. But we will use our officers because I don't want to waste our networks. Because our agents are actually so useful in this game. There's so much stuff you can do with agents. Instability in Thailand, there we go. Against the background of social instability and constant confrontation between left and right forces, the royal family of Thailand decided in September to organize the return to the country of the radical right general Kittikachorn. That I definitely pronounced wrong. The country's former prime minister responsible for the bloody repression and overthrown by public speeches in '73. He himself does not want to return to politics and wishes to take monasticism. Wow. But the official announcement of his return and his meeting with the king caused dissatisfaction of a part of society with the right. What? Okay, the premier resigned, which however was rejected. A wave of student and trade union demonstrations swept through, one of which is taking place at that university. Okay. The military are preparing a brutal suppression. Okay. Send armed CPT units to help demonstrators and provoke an uprising. You know I'm gonna do that, obviously that sounds awesome. Thanks to the support and the efforts of the special services, the armed militants of the CPT came to the university and together with the students started a battle with the right-wing militants, the outcome of which was decided only by the police that arrived to the right. However, by this time, clashes and demonstrations were already taking place all over Bangkok, to suppress which the army and police were thrown. The Prime Minister was arrested by the military. This cruelty in the beginning of chaos plunged society into shock, and forced many students, trade union activists and workers to go into the cells of the CPT, which, taking advantage of the chaos, launched a full-scale offensive from the north of the country. There we go, we're helping Thailand, and we've started actually a war. So, here we go, we need to support the communists. We'll send them special forces help, which is 3 agent networks. We'll send them weapons, because I think that takes away from your military. Intervention points, huh. Oh yeah, that's the new thing which you need from diplomatic influence. Diplomatic, and we'll send them weapons as well, so hopefully the communists will do a bit better in our country. Let me see how our army is doing. It's doing good. We're doing good. The Gang of Four, there we go. Now that our Chairman Mao Zedong has passed away, the internal party struggle again flared up in the CCP. On the one hand, there are 4 closest to the great helmsman, supporters of the line and continuation of the Cultural Revolution. And they're gonna have to go, I'm afraid. Arrest all 4, or arrest some of them, compromise. Yeah, no, we're gonna arrest all 4. Enlisting the support of Special Regiment 8341, as well as the highest generals, Hua Guofeng convened an extraordinary congress of the Politburo, right at which the leaders of the radical faction were arrested. Following this, a wave of arrests of loyal functionaries swept through Beijing and Shanghai, practically causing no resistance. A large-scale campaign was launched in the press to condemn the conspirators, which had already been dubbed the Gang of Four, which was now blamed for the numerous victims of the Cultural Revolution, as well as the attempt to seize power after Mao's death. Right, epic. So, yeah, we're moving towards a course of reformism and socialism with Chinese characteristics, which obviously can only go well. So yes, thank you very much for watching. It's going to be the end of the first episode. Definitely going to be continuing with this, and please check out Political Simulators Unite video on China Mao's Legacy. It's a great video, and do check out that Gleam competition, because there's a chance for you to win something cool, just for free, for supporting the channel. So thanks for that. Also, subscribe and like if you haven't done so already. Come and chill on our Discord, and we have fun there. Come check me out on Twitter if you like. I post random shit once in a while. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.